Now, I love the Mercedes, don't get me wrong, but there are certain things on this car that I don't understand why Mercedes, at the level that the car's at, didn't put in by standard. So this is the Mercedes NTG 4.5 COMAND unit. Major problem with this is, why did Mercedes not make this touchscreen? I have no idea. It uses a joggle wheel. I mean, literally a joggle wheel. There's no buttons on the dashboard to switch between Bluetooth, radio, or CD. So you do have these buttons and these buttons here that control like the telephone and the stereo. You've got the voice command button here, which kind of works, but it's not the best. Now, I've had cars that are older than this, only by a couple of years, that have got touchscreen systems in them, and I don't understand why Mercedes never did that as an optional extra or an upgrade, but they never did. So it's quite clear, guys, that the Mercedes system is outdated and we need to upgrade it. Now, I could go out and get a software upgrade from Mercedes and also go out and buy an Apple CarPlay box and get that installed, or install it myself, but it still won't give me that touchscreen functionality. So I've chosen the route that many people have on the internet, and I've gone out and bought an Android touchscreen system. It gives me everything you would expect from an Android based system. It supports Apple CarPlay, it supports downloading apps from the Google Play Store. It also has its own SIM card slot, so if I wanted to run this as a standalone device without my iPhone connected to it and download all the apps to it, I can, and also provide like a mobile hotspot for any passengers in the car. I don't think I'm going to do that at the moment because I'm using it for my iPhone. It's fairly straightforward to install. We take the old screen out, run the wiring loom, mount this in the place of the old screen, and then connect it all up. And theoretically, it should just connect to my phone and it'll give me everything I want. So what are we waiting for? Let's get on, get this bad boy fitted. So to get the head unit out or get the screen out, you basically pull this bit of plastic off here. There's 2 screws behind this piece of plastic. This trim comes off. There's 2 screws in the dash, and then it's like pops off. It's on clips, and then there's some screws behind here, and then it just comes out, and then we can mount the new unit. So yeah, let's get on and get that done. So we start by removing the plastic from around the screen. We then remove the vents and the trim from the dash so we can get access to the screws that hold the head unit in. We then disconnect the battery before removing the screen. So to remove the screen, it's fairly straightforward. We take the 2 Torx bolts out that hold it in place and then simply unplug it. With the screen out, we then move on to the main head unit. The stereo has 2 Torx screws holding it in at the top. We just undo these and it slides out. Okay, so screen's out, head unit's out. These vents are a little bit difficult to get out because the way it describes to get these clips to slide the vents out wasn't that clear. But got it out, all sorted. Now, get the Android screen set up and get it in place. I've got the original Mercedes plug. Now, we've got fibre optic plugs here that need to come out and go into this plug here, which is for the head unit. Then that plug there connects to the original Mercedes plug. That's all I need to do, and then feed the cables up through here, out here, and then plug the screen in, and we should be good to go. So yeah, let's get on, let's get it done. So I use an old piece of cable as a fishing line so I can feed the cables through the dashboard. Just makes life a lot easier. So once we've fed the cables through the dashboard, we then connect them all up. So with the stereo plugged in and the cables all run, we then fit the mounting bracket for the new screen. The new monitor then simply slides on and is held in with locking screws. Okay, so the stereo is still not in all the way. The screen's only just sat on its bracket, but this is going to be the first kind of power on. Hopefully I've connected it all up right and it doesn't go bang. So yeah, but let's see if this works. Ignition on. Do I turn the stereo on? Okay, so I know what the issue is. Schoolboy error. So the power cable for the 4.5 system is different to the 4, obviously, because why would it not be? And I hadn't swapped these two plugs over, so I've swapped these two plugs over. So now, if I turn the ignition on, the system should come on. Ignition is on. I've got hazard warning lights, and that's because this plug here is not plugged in. And let's see if it comes on. Whether there's there we go. I don't know whether you can see that well on the camera. Let me just change the brightness. Look at that. Look at this bad boy. Wow. So now what we're going to do is get all of this back in and sealed up, and then we can look at the features on it. So yeah, let's get on. Let's get all this back in. Okay, so schoolboy error. Got the stereo in. Managed to sort all the cables out. Bit of a mission. But I forgot to run this cable. Now this cable is the audio cable. So this is what makes anything that's playing through the touchscreen come out the speakers, and it's a bit of a pain that it has to go into the audio, the aux port in here. So I've now got to rerun that. I've got to take all of this center console out here and then run this cable, because I'm not having this hanging about. It just looks untidy. So yeah, let's get on, let's get this out and get the cable run. Let's do it. So we start by removing the heater control panel. With that out of the way, we can then get to the Torx bolts that hold the centre console to the dashboard. With these bolts out, we then move on to the back, removing the air vents to get access to the retaining bolts that hold the centre console in place. So there we are, we've got the centre console out. Fairly straightforward, fairly easy, only a few minutes to do. And I found some money, so bonus, I'm rich. There's money all over the place here actually. So yeah, this cable here, we're going to pull back through, take the screen off, pull it back through, pull it down here, run it along here, which is going to be really easy to do, and then just pop a hole in down here where the AUG input is and just feed it through. So yeah, it should be fairly straightforward. Yeah, so let's get on, let's get it done. With the screen out of the way, it was relatively easy to feed this cable down the back, and because there's no hole in the center console, unfortunately I had to get a drill and drill a hole so we could feed the cable through. With the cable in place, we then refit the center console, the control unit and the stereo. Oh no, come on. So I've just dropped my only Torx down the back of the dashboard. Come on. This car, I've got another Torx. Let's have a look. Oh yes, saved. Let's get on, get this all back together. So with that disaster diverted, we carry on refitting the dash back up. So everything is screwed in, finally done. A couple of pieces of trim broke the passenger vent. I need to go and get a new one of those. Yeah, we won't talk about that. Got the cable in here. As you can see, it comes out underneath there, put a hole in there, plugs into the AUG port, and we've got sound, so that's all good. So now what we need to do is actually pair my iPhone with the system for the first time. So let's see how we get on. Hopefully it'll all work. So ignition on, grab my iPhone and open it up and wait for the device to come online. And it says pairing my phone. Now it's come up on my phone, so I'm just going to put the code in. Now it's connected, so you see on the phone it says connected. Now it says on my phone, do I want to use CarPlay with this device? So I'm going to click yes, and then I suppose it will just connect. There we are, 5 minutes later, and it's connected. And as you can see, with the Apple CarPlay, you get all the CarPlay compatible apps that you've got on your iPhone. So I've got WhatsApp, Google Maps, Apple Maps, text messages, phone, podcasts, audio books, and all the settings. So let's go into Spotify and see if it will play any music. See what it sounds like. So as you expect, the sound quality is really, really good. I'm well pleased with that. That's really cool. So another upgrade done to the E-Class, and probably one of my favourites, touchscreen with Apple CarPlay. I've been wanting to do this to the Mercedes for about 6 months now, and we finally got it done. And if you're thinking about doing this to your car, don't forget, check out the link in the description below. And also guys, if you like what you see, don't forget, you know what's coming, smash that subscribe button, turn the notifications on so you know when the new videos are dropping, give me a thumbs up and comment in the comment section below. And thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.